Welcome back, guys. It is Dr. Tom here. Today we are talking all about ways to decompress the spine. So when we talk about reasons to decompress the spine, this can be due to degeneration of the spine. And with degeneration, we can look at these disc heights, so the discs sit between the vertebrae. And when we age or when there's trauma to the area, we can get a little bit of compression and loss of disc height. So a big reason with traction can be to open and restore some of that height, to take a little bit of, if there is a disc bulge involved, to take a little bit of pressure off that exiting nerve root. As you can see here, that little red guy sticking out to the side. Now, the important thing when we talk about traction to the lower back, a lot of people may have an inversion table or something like that. We want to make sure that we're not doing traction too aggressively, because I get a lot of people who come in and they're actually making their back worse by doing too aggressive forms of traction. So today we're going to break down 3 of the best traction exercises and progressions to this. So we're going to start at the easiest, work our way to a more extreme version. Yes, you can use those inversion tables, but if you haven't done any form of traction before, today is great, and you don't need any equipment. You can do this at home and find stuff to supplement in. So follow along today. Remember, if you get an increase in any signs or symptoms or any increase in pain through that lower back, stop straight away. You're not ready for this, and make sure you always consult with a physician before trying anything. So let's get into it, guys, and I hope you find some benefits today and that this becomes a normal part of your routine. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, so our first form of traction can come off a kitchen table, kitchen bench, a couch, bed, whatever you've got at home, something that's just a little elevated. Now, what we want to do here is rest the elbows on this. So have a lot of your weight supported by the elbows. As you can see with my toes here, I'm standing on them at the moment, but when we go into it and let yourself traction, we're going to slowly let the toes sink in and under. Now, in this position here, we can kind of let the spine roll forward over to really let things relax. And in this position, if you feel your lower back switching on, that is not what this is designed to do. We want everything to completely switch off and your pelvis and hips to be just pulling down towards the ground lightly. So nothing too aggressively. And as it pulls down, this is going to be decompressing some of those lower back spinal structures. So we're holding here for 20 seconds. After the 20 seconds, back onto the toes, walk your hips back, just toggle them side to side for a little rest. And then we're going to do 3 rounds of this. So after your little 10-second rest, we're going to go elbows in, bring the body against the bench top, whatever you've got by. Support your elbows, curl your feet under so you're on the backs of your toes, and let those hips sink down towards the ground. Trying to breathe in through your nose, and as we breathe out through the mouth, really trying to let those hips sink down further towards the ground. So that is phase number 1. That is the easiest one we can do. Make sure you're always supported by your feet on the ground. We don't want to just be hanging there freely on the side of a kitchen bench, because that will be too aggressive and it may disrupt and irritate some of your lower back. Now, the next one we can go into, I often like to get people, I don't have a kitchen sink in here unfortunately, but people holding the side of a kitchen sink, and you're going to see in a second why we need something sturdy to hold, because if it isn't, we're going to fly back and it's unsafe. So I'm going to use the spin bike here. It's not probably the best thing I can use, but it is stable enough for me to get a little bit of traction. We're going to start by holding on to whatever it is. If it's the side of the kitchen sink, holding on to that. The railing also works really good. And then from here, our chest is going to start to go parallel towards the ground. Now, almost imagine that whatever we're holding on to, we're trying to pull it out of the wall or whatever it's connected to. So we're getting a little bit of force going back through the tailbone. Our weight starts to go more into the heels. We're tractioning that tailbone back towards the wall behind us. And remember here, guys, if you start to feel pain, you are not ready for phase 2. So make sure you back off. Now, if we get into position here, what we're gonna do is hold this for 40 seconds. So trying to let the tailbone come back, but also we can lever this by tucking it down a little as well. So hips as far back behind us as possible, really leaning that weight behind us, but also using the breath to relax everything through the lower back. So 40 seconds in this stationary position, and then we're gonna add a little what we call hip toggle. And this just adds a little bit of decompression from one side to the other side and is amazing, or it can be amazing for a lot of people with disc issues. So now I've hit 40 seconds, guys. We're gonna come up, you can have a little rest, move the hips around. You might wanna go forward, back, just give yourself a little rest. After 10 seconds, we're gonna go slowly back into the same thing that we were just in. Once we get into position, pulling the hips as far back as possible, tucking that tailbone a little bit, making sure the ribs stay locked under. And then from here, we're gonna toggle our hips from one side, slowly to the other. So imagine that you're pushing one bum cheek as far behind you as possible. So the left one and then the right one. In a second, I'm gonna turn my bum towards you, excuse me. So I'm turning my bum towards you guys, sorry. And then we're going, as you can see here, I'm using my knees as well to lever this. So pushing my left bum cheek as far back as possible, and then my right bum cheek as far back as possible. So if you start to feel any signs or symptoms here, guys, make sure you come out straight away. You're not ready for this one. But this is still part of phase 2, but we're just adding those toggles in. And with the toggles, what we want to do is get up to just 15 repetitions here. Okay guys, and our last one we are doing, this is phase 3. This is a more aggressive version of traction. So if you are not ready for it and you feel signs and symptoms straight away, you're back to phase 2. And if phase 2 isn't good for you, back to phase 1. So our hands are above our head, straight above the shoulders. We don't want them out too far. And then from here, the same thing as what we were just doing. We're gonna bend the knees a little bit, go onto the toes, and then in this position here, the same as what we were doing before, let the hips traction down towards the ground. Now, the only thing with this one, a lot of people struggle with, if you're someone that doesn't go to the gym much, isn't strong through the forearm flexors, after holding this for a while, you're gonna be quite sore in the front of the arms, the forearms here. So you might need to only go 5 or 10 seconds and then walk the toes back under, stand up for a second, move the hips side to side. But for everyone else, we're gonna try and go into 15-second holds 5 times through. So move the hips around, 10-second rest between, then walking the toes under, letting the hips traction under. I often like to close my eyes, use my breath, let the hips traction down on the breath. And going all the way to 15 seconds with this. Still having a little bit of pressure into the feet. And if you can't hold for the 15 seconds, feel free to come out at 5 or 10 seconds and just add some more reps into it. And make sure you give yourself a little rest in between, move the hips side to side. So I hope you learnt a little bit today. You've found some new forms of traction for the lower back. These ones are great, but like I've said throughout the video, if you feel pain, you're not doing yourselves any benefit. So make sure you stop straight away. If it feels great, add it to your daily routine. This can be very beneficial for people with disc pain to decompress the area, to get more of that synovial fluid into the joint space, which helps with movement and everything else. So enjoy, guys. Remember to like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. I'm coming out with new ones every single Monday. And I'm gonna link a video up the top here if you have had disc pain and you wanna check out another video with more in-depth exercises and explanations of how to overcome this condition. So take care, guys, and we'll see you next Monday at 7 a.m.